Hey every creature! My name is Smasher the Changeling, and today I'm talking to you about the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the movie. Now yes, I am aware that the movie has been out for a while, but I still have to say this. This video does have spoilers. Do not watch if you don't want any spoilers. With that out of the way, I'm going to be talking to you about the movie in 5 sections: animations, story, characters, locations, and my final thoughts. With that being said, let's begin. Cue the intro!
I used to wonder what friendship could be.
Okay, first, the animation is just so great. Amazing. I mean, this is Hasbro using Toon Boom instead of Flash animation, so there's a lot more detail into the work with facial expressions, body movement, and a lot more. While I may not be a full-on artist or animator, the animation is just what catches my eye about anything. If the animation is choppy or flat out bad, I don't want to watch it. I like the story, but if the animation is bad, then why would I want to see the movie? But this Hasbro did a great job with everything here. You could tell exactly who the characters were, what they were feeling, even when they weren't saying anything. And I loved all the jokes they did, even with adding a little scene where Spike literally burns one of the guards. So that was fun. Next, now is the story. This one will take me a bit longer to get through, so grab a chair, grab a snack, and let's go. Okay, we start off with a Pegasus flying to Canterlot with a parody of We Got the Beat called Ponies Got the Beat. Anyways, with that happening, in the ponies from far and wide gather to Canterlot for the Festival of Friendship. We see Twilight wanting to ask the other princesses to use their magic to help with the festival with Songboard Serenade performance tonight. The princesses, of course, deny Twilight and tell her that she has all the magic she needs, which is true, the magic of friendship. With that being said, Twilight and her friends tell her that Twilight's friends tell her the same thing about this. They sing a song which I just adore. We got this together. It's a great way to show Twilight, and you get to see all ponies far and wide. The Wonderbolts, the Apple family, and so many more. We learn Twilight is not just worried about the festival, but what it represents for her as the Princess of Friendship. She believes she can't let any pony down, but anyways, all this is interrupted because a ship is attacking Canterlot. The villain of the movie is introduced as Tempest Shadows, who wants to take the magic of all 4 princesses for the main villain, the Storm King. More on him later. But don't worry, everypony, the royal guards will... Oh, wait, what? They weren't at the Festival of Friendship? Of course they're not. They weren't even in the movie. Great. Now, I will have to give points to Cadence for actually doing something, because for the love of Luna, Tempest just kicked an orb to them to turn to stone, and Celestia just stands there like an idiot. Like, girl, you are an alicorn. Teleport a bit away so you don't get hit. Or, better yet, why don't you blast the orb or something? But anyway, Cadence gets turned to stone, and Celestia quickly tells Luna to fly to the hippos, Queen of the Hippos, and to get help. But, of course, Hasbro has to get rid of the princesses, so Luna and Celestia are turned to stone. Twilight almost gets captured, but gets saved by Derpy. Yes, you heard me right. Derpy is the true hero of the story. After escaping Canterlot, the ponies head off to the Queen of the Hippos to find help and end up in a town where fish creatures try to buy Twilight. Now, yes, I know this has a name, but I forgot the name, and I don't know what these creatures' names, so they will be known as fishmen. And in women, and other things. Anyways, they try and buy Twilight and her friends, but are saved by a mysterious cat named Capper. Now, here's where the movie kinda splits for the fandom. Some ponies get mad at Twilight for not trusting her friends when they trust Capper. But another way, Twilight is right here. I mean, and Capper did just lie to save Twilight and her friends. I know it was an good intention lie, but it's still off. I'm not trying to be rude, but they don't know where they are. Why I don't think Twilight was in the right of just being cold to Capper. Her caution is right. It would be like if you went to a new town and some random person is like, "Oh, I will be your friend." But anyways, I'm getting off track here. They get into Capper's house and learn that they want the hippogriffs, not the hippos. Tempest arrives after Capper tries to sell them, and attacks Twilight and her friends. They escape once again and find themselves on a pirate ship. Twilight and her friends are almost thrown overboard when the crew finds them, but is saved by the lit bell. Literally, they had to stop for lunch because they only get one lunch apparently, or some. I don't remember all the details of the movie. But anyways, it's when they ask what they're doing, and they show Rainbow Dash and the Gang that they used to be pirates. Rainbow Dash sings a song which I just adore. Anyways, I do have to condone one thing with Rainbow Dash. She was so dumb at this point. Yes, I know this seems rude, but she decided to perform a sonic rainbow. Like, look, I understand she was trying to get their mojo back, which is fine. But Rainbow Dash should have known that this was a terrible idea. Some people have gotten mad at Twilight for being uptight, but they are on the run and they're trying not to get captured here. They are Equestria's last hope. So Rainbow Dash performing Sonic Rainbow was really dumb. I mean, geez, Applejack even stated to Rainbow Dash before that she saw Rainbow Dash's Sonic Rainbow all the way from Manhattan. But, yeah. Anyways, the Tempest finds the crew, but the crew hides Twilight and her friends under the ship. Twilight performs a great idea by escaping, making a hot air balloon. Again, some people get upset at Twilight for not trusting the crew, but in the same way, they had to do something. And it's not just not trusting the crew, it's also just a backup plan. But anyways, they make it to Mount Everest, and it's home of the hippogriffs. Twilight and her friends are found by the princess and the queen, and told about their past. But when Twilight asks about the pearl, the queen refuses. Queen Nova, of course. Here, once again, we get a split in half. Twilight lies to her friends to show the princess a good time while she steals the gem. Of course, this fails, and Twilight and her friends are sent away. Twilight and her friends get into an argument, which makes Twilight right away regret her words, or stating that maybe she would be better off without friends like them. Now, at first when I saw this movie, I was mad at Twilight. How she could steal the pearl and then yell at her friends when she was in the wrong. But it wasn't until I saw Lightning Bliss's video on the My Little Pony movie, which made me realize something. Twilight, yes, actions were wrong. There is no right of her for stealing the orb. But here's why I can't really get mad at her. Alright, she was under stress. In fear. She worried about her home and wanted to do anything to save it. When people are put into a tough choice, sometimes they do things they aren't right, but they think they're right because they want to save their homes and friends. That is what Twilight was experiencing. Now, when Twilight yelled at her friends, it was because of the stress and anger. I know firsthand that anger and stress can lead you to say or do things you regret. I pushed people who wanted to help me away because I was stressed or angry about things happening around me, and I let my anger take over. So I understand what Twilight was going through. Some of you may not agree with me, and that's fine. That is your choice. But in my eyes, Twilight was sort of I'm not really mad at Twilight for yelling anymore because of everything she was going through. But, of course, Twilight can't fix things with friends because she ends up being kidnapped and told about Tempest's backstory through a song. Yeah, I kind of agree here with Lightning, but I mean, the song is great and all, but and I really don't like when people try and reform someone over a song. Most songs are only about 3 minutes, and if reform happens over a song, it's kind of dumb. Now, it's not just a song that kind of bothers me. While I do love the song, I don't really care for Tempest's backstory. I understand her reasoning. I mean, geez, her horn was ripped off, her magic was corrupted because of this, and her friends abandoned her in her time of need and basically replaced her. That can do some damaging stuff to a pony. I mean, what would you do if one day you got injured? Like if you lost your arm or something, and your friends were scared of you because you only had one arm. This is basically what Tempest is experiencing. So I understand her reasoning of hating friendship. She's basically scared that ponies are gonna judge her because she has a broken horn. But my problem with Tempest's backstory is just it reminds me too much of Starlight Glimmer's story. I know they're different, but it just feels the same to me. Both had friends, something happened to you, them or their friends, that divided them to cause them to hate friendship and act out in a way they shouldn't have. Why Tempest hated friendship and Starlight hated cutie marks, it still caused them to do something. Those are just my feelings. I understand that now, yes, even though Tempest's story was supposed to come out before Starlight's, for those who don't know, the My Little Pony movie was originally supposed to come out, if I'm correct, at the end of season 4 or 5. Yeah, at the end of season 4, pre-Starlight. But animation, of course, takes time, so they had to continue the show. Meaning Starlight came first. But again, it just feels the same to me. Anyways, we return to Canterlot to finally see the Storm King. And yeah, I'm kind of upset about the Storm King. They build up the Storm King to be this very scary dude. I mean, geez, the hippogriffs ended up hiding away. Maybe because of them. But he only appears at the end of the movie, and the most evil thing he does is cast fear to the hippogriffs, make the pirates sell merch, which isn't that very scary, especially since they literally just can get rid of the merch and just pretend they're selling it around. And refuse to return Tempest's horn after he already promised. And he tried to turn Twilight and her friends to stone. Other than that, the dude is just more silly guy. I mean, he literally spends the first part of his new magic messing around with the sun and moon. And he goofs off whenever Twilight makes a joke about when Twilight was like, oh, it's the magic of... And he interrupted Twilight going, oh, friendship and ponies and blah. He just seemed more silly than a scary dude. So I don't understand what he was so scary, especially since he didn't even have power before Tempest came along. But I digress. Finally, Twilight and her friends make up, and Tempest sacrifices herself to save Twilight and her friends, defeating the Storm King and returning the magic to the princesses and freeing all Canterlot. The party happens, and that's the end of the adventure. Phew, that was a lot to go through. Now, I want to talk about the characters. Now, I'm only going to talk about the new characters, so Twilight and her friends will not. I mean new characters that you appear in the movie. And no, I don't mean the subtle Songbird Serenade, aka pony version of Sia. I mean the characters that actually played a part. We're going to start with Tempest Shadow first. Now, yes, I'm aware her real name is Fizzy Pop Berry Twist, but I'm gonna call her Tempest anyways. I love Tempest as a villain because it was so interesting for her to actually do something. Most villains of the My Little Pony series left Twilight and her friends alone, thinking they weren't gonna be a threat. I mean, geez, Tarek made a good point during the finale of My Little Pony that even Twilight alone, she still is a threat. Yet Cozy Glow and Chrysalis was leaving her alone. Next is Capper. Honestly, Capper is a good dude. I love the writers made him change his heart to show kindness, going a long way. Well, technically generosity, but it was still a form of kindness. Capper was going to sell the ponies, out to Tempest, but then he saw the fixed clothes and lied to protect them. Captain Calico is such a good fighter, and it was nice to seeing a girl captain. I know this show is focused on females, but most of the time you see male captains, and we barely see any female captains, so it was nice of fresh hair. I know we don't have much information on her. It was hard to talk my feelings about her when you barely appeared in the movie. Finally, Queen Novo. Oh, and Princess Skystar. Honestly, Skystar reminds me of a hippogriff version of Pinkie Pie, and honestly, Queen Nova was kind of a wet blanket, pun intended, since she is a sea pony. I mean, she saw suffering kingdoms, and she had the power to turn creatures into anything, but chose to hide. I understand she's a queen and she wants to protect her own kingdom, but the fact that she had the ability of the pearl to turn into anything. Before you all say it, no, the pearl just doesn't just turn them into sea ponies. The pearl can turn them into anything, as Twilight even states. They just chose to pick sea ponies because it was a perfect way to hide away from every creature. Anyways, with that being said, and I kind of just really didn't like her. Anyways, now for the last section, areas. Now, areas, first of all, I know this is a new area, but oh my Irene, I love the new Cantalar throne room design. It really sucks that it took them till the movie and season 8 to redesign the throne room to give Luna a place on the throne. I understand through season 7 that Luna sleeps during the day, but it still sucks that they basically made Luna a side princess to Equestria. Next, Clungtown. I probably butchered that name, but which I'm gonna say was very fresh air to see a town that was all destroyed like. Now I know that seems harsh and rude, but it kind of annoys me seeing all these towns and they're like brand new and stuff. Not all towns are luckily enough to have a fresh paint. Some are abandoned and old. Anyways, the pirate ship was okay, not much to say about it, but I do love the rainbow feathers on the ship for the sails. Mount Eris was cool design, having to show an abandoned. It was nice detail on the enemy's part art, and even Sequestria was cool. It sucks we barely got to see any of Sequestria, minus the throne room. My final thoughts on the movie, I love it. Songs were great, areas were great. One thing I do wish Hasbro went down the line with is Celestine Luna's brother. If you guys don't know, Tempest Shadows was originally supposed to be the younger brother to the royal sisters. I honestly think that would have been such a cool idea. Now, I know the design he wasn't going to be an alicorn, but if he did appear, I wish he did. 1, to prove that alicorns can be male, and 2, it would have been more interesting. Having maybe a Prince of the Stars, maybe he was the reason why Luna escaped. Who knows? But what are your guys' thoughts? Leave them in the comments below, and I look forward to reading them. Hell, Luna.